Doug Ford bites. Hey, Doug Ford bites. Do you know what he did when it came to rent? Doug Ford's plan to end rent control is a flashback to 20 years ago. That plan became a reality, by the way. Mike Harris gutted rent control to disastrous results. Now Ontario Premier plans to do the same. Today, millionaire Premier Doug Ford introduced a plan to end rent control on all new units in Ontario. It was a startling reversal of his May campaign promise. When it comes to rent control, we're going to maintain the status quo. And how did that all turn out? Ford dropped rent control on new units in 2018. Since then, thousands have come online and tenants face double-digit increases. Ask, was it worth it? No, it wasn't. 3 years in, the experts debate whether the policy has helped enough of Toronto's rental supply to justify the instability for tenants. You don't need an expert for this. Rent has gone out of control in this province. It's not just that there's no rent control on new units, there's nothing limiting landlords from increasing rents in between tenants, which encourages them to kick them out, but they can't just kick them out. So then they usually say, oh, we need to renovate, so you need to go, which is called a renoviction. And then they kick the person out to paint the walls to make the unit $400 more expensive. People are living in fear of being kicked out of their homes simply because their landlord wants to make more money. Apartments aren't just places people stay. Some people live their whole lives in the same units. It's their home. I lost the apartment I called home to a new development. That was the first place I had lived in that felt like a home to me. Apartments aren't just things that people move to and from with no thought. And now the fear is that when you get kicked out of an apartment or you lose an apartment for whatever reason, there is nowhere left people can afford to go. People on disability, our entire disability checks do not cover rent for a one-bedroom apartment. People are being forced to get roommates, and that's not necessarily healthy for everyone. I know personally I can handle my cats, but other than that, I can't live with anyone. The housing crisis is a result of policy, intentional policy by both the provincial and federal governments. It is a human right to have a safe place to live. And our governments are failing us. We need affordable places to live. This is something that can be achieved now, but the governments are choosing not to. Doug Ford doesn't care. He'll always have a place to live. He'll always be able to afford a home. He doesn't care about the people who will be left out on the streets. On June 2nd, we need to vote Ford out, and the Liberals, because they're really no better.